Hey y'all, IrixGuy here, live from the studio today, and welcome aboard, Ricky G. Just saw you tune in there. Sorry about yesterday's live show. I've got to work on the internet connection in the boat. It was trying to get a live show. The video quality was quite decent for mobile, but it seems that I only got 31 seconds. And actually, that live show I recorded for about 6 minutes. So what happened to the rest of the live show from yesterday, who knows? But I'm in the studio. I've got a sunburn, I am sun-scorched, and we're going to talk about a little bit of everything. Now, the first thing I want to talk about, and this may be kind of an older topic, but this is the GoPro Hero 5 session. Welcome aboard, Simon. Welcome aboard. I got a lot of people tuning in. I see the count increasing. You look tired. Yeah, I got sun-scorched, dude. I got a ton of sun, and got some of that vitamin D. Is in Delta. But yeah, the Hero 5 session, they've got the Hero 5 Black and the Hero 5 session. I've really enjoyed this session, and I wish that they would release. I wish that GoPro would release. Welcome, Gary. Welcome aboard. Just a reminder, everyone, if you're watching this at approximately 3:30 p.m. New York City time, this is a live show. So all of your comments, I can see them and have the opportunity to interact with y'all face on video. But yeah, this has been a rock solid little camera, and I'm hoping, with GoPro Fusion around the corner, the camera that's going to bring spherical video, the first spherical GoPro camera, it's going to be interesting to see what they pack into the GoPro Hero 6. So hopefully with the Hero 6, at least my expectation for Hero 6 is 4K 60 without fisheye. With this camera right here, you can do what's called linear mode, and you can pretty much eliminate the fisheye. The drawback is with the Hero 5 Session and also the Hero 5 Black, if you do linear mode, what's going to happen is that you're not going to be able to do linear mode in 4K. I think it may do it in 2.7K, but it may be limited to 1080p. So if you're filming in 4K, not being able to get linear mode is kind of a drawback, and I don't know if any of y'all tried the Sony action cams. I know that they kind of came out and GoPro was just the goose's feather. It was getting all the attention, and but I love Sony cameras, and I'm kind of thinking about, even though I've got so many GoPro mounts like this suction mount right here, kind of thinking about taking a switch to the Sony camp. If Sony comes out with an action camera that'll do 4K 60, I think that would be really sweet. Fly High Guy says, did you hear Litchi has spherical photo capabilities? Yeah, actually, I've heard about that. It's funny. I have not yet installed Litchi. I've heard a lot of people, hiccups. A lot of people talk about it, but I need to check it out. Simon says, did you get any kind of gimbal stabilization for it? Well, I did have the GoPro Karma, which is the GoPro Karma Grip, which is GoPro's handheld gimbal. It came with the GoPro Karma drone, but unfortunately, my GoPro Karma, I was one of the first people to get them, and mine was one that was recalled. And after it was recalled, I never picked up another. So it would almost be worth picking up the Karma Grip by itself. I have no interest in the Karma drone, unfortunately, and that was highly disappointing. But yeah, the Karma Grip does a really good job with stabilizing GoPro video. But the thing is, oh yeah, Simon, did you ever get it? I did. But you know what's funny? I like the Session better than the Hero 5 Black. It's smaller. I mean, obviously, I can't change the batteries, but when I take a USB battery bank into the field with me, this is all I need. And I did a side-by-side comparison, and there is a subtle difference between the video quality of Hero 5 Session and Hero 5 Black, but it wasn't. I don't know. I mean, y'all tell me what you think. Actually, I've got a video of that on the channel here from a while back, and I mean Actually, I felt the audio quality of the Hero 5 Session trumped the Hero 5 Black, which was kind of interesting. And in the past with GoPro, I've always been the Black user, the high-end GoPro model. But in this scenario, I really like this. but it's going to be interesting to see. Let's see, GoPro Hero 5 Session versus Hero 5 Black. It's going to be interesting to see what GoPro comes out with next, and I'm hoping they come out with something really good before the before the holiday season. It'd be really neat. Yeah, here's a side-by-side comparison I did between the two cameras. Right here. Let's see. I just pasted the link in the comments. So yeah, GoPro is due a recovery. I mean, they need to redeem themselves after the GoPro Karma. They really got to. So hopefully Hero 6 and GoPro Fusion will hopefully get them back on track, because I really like GoPro. I just, and I like this camera, especially in this scenario on a suction mount on a boat. I didn't even really care about stabilization because it was more realistic. It was kind of turning as the boat turned, which was kind of neat. But yep, we ought to see, as mentioned, hopefully in August we'll see a Mavic Pro 2 and also a Phantom 5. So that's the big unknown. What are they going to release? When are they going to release it? I think it's easy to assume that new DJI drones are coming very soon, because you got to get, and this was part of the live show yesterday, you may it. Make that we would see. It says we're experiencing buffering right now, I think. Can y'all see and hear me okay? But yeah, it would only make sense that if DJI is going to release something in time for Christmas shopping, that it would have to come out, around August, I would think. So we'll see what happens rather. Gary says, no matter what camera you use in post-production, do you crop for 2:35:1 for that widescreen cinematic look? Well, most of the time, in looking in Final Cut Pro 10, there's a setting called let's see, where is that? It's letterbox for the widescreen. Let me see. I'm just going to that right now in the settings here. Yeah, so if you go into Final Cut Pro 10 and you go to letterbox, then you can select a variety of options for the letterbox effect. So most of the time I seldom use letterboxing, but sometimes I do, and it does seem to give it more of a cinematic look. And if you're not familiar with what letterboxing is, if you look at a video and it's got that black bar on the top and the bottom, that's called letterboxing. Did I lose connection there? I saw that we seemed to have taken a big hit. I was looking at the live stream and my bandwidth just went crazy, but I don't know if y'all missed the past few minutes of this. We were talking about Gary's question. He said, no matter what camera do you use in post-production, do you crop for 2:35:1 for that widescreen cinematic look? And just saying that sometimes I use letterbox, and there's a variety of settings. If you use Final Cut Pro 10 and you drag that letterbox onto your video clip, typically, and it's called aspect ratio, typically the 2:35:1 is the one I would use. Now you can even go up. You can go to 2:55:1, and then you can go to 3:0:01. So it's a matter of how, to put it in plain English here, if you're not familiar with video editing, it's a matter of how big you want those bars on the top of the video and the bottom of the video to be, because it gives the viewer, when you're watching that video, it makes it look like Gary was saying, more cinematic. So Bob Biker 46, welcome aboard. Sorry about that. We took a network hit for some reason. I'm having network issues out the wazoo. I'm going to have to get Had to get the network team in here and check this stuff out. But yeah, so what else we got? We got obviously drones and cameras, and there's got to be some exciting tech coming out here for the for the 27 holiday season. I mean, there's got to be a ton of stuff, and wouldn't it be cool if there was something unexpected, something as cool as a drone that came out and we had no idea it was coming, something along those lines. Let's see. Oh, I see what's happening. My other window from where I got the link earlier to the GoPro comparison, that was playing and that was congesting my bandwidth. It was playing a YouTube video in my other window, so that was my fault. It wasn't a network. I created the network congestion myself. Gary says, always do. I use Premiere Pro. I love that aspect ratio of 235:1. Very cool. Yep, so that's bad. I just killed the live show a second ago with that video playing, but yeah, I got a lot of stuff going. I mean, obviously the big thing here, we're kind of in a wait and see mode again, and DJI Spark, a lot of fun drone, surprisingly good video quality considering it's 1080p, but it's unfortunately the Spark just left me wanting more, and that's the problem right now. Is if you're like me, you're probably waiting on what's next. I mean, obviously, as I've stated before, I think today the Phantom 4 is the best drone on the market, just because it's it's been rock solid. And I mean, you watch the intro to this live show and the outro to this live show, I filmed that with the Phantom 4 in 4K 30. Gary says, should I hold off getting the DJI Phantom 4 Pro and wait for the 5? I'm not sure of the new features in the 5. If you're not in a hurry, man, I would. If I was going to buy a drone today, if I was going to buy one today because I needed one today, I would get I would just get the Phantom 4. I wouldn't even go with the Pro. And by the way, if you do, go to epicdroneshow.com, man. Check out my links there. That'd be great. But my honest advice is to wait and see what the Phantom 5 brings to the table, because it would only make sense, giving the clues that DJI has provided us. They released a smaller, more lightweight drone, the Mavic Pro, and then they released something radically small, the DJI Spark. So it would only make sense that based upon the feedback they've obtained from users of those two drones, that they would feel comfortable with creating a radically new design for the Phantom 5. Not going to say that it's not going to look like a Phantom when you see it, but I think DJI's positioned themselves now to where they could comfortably go out and innovate a lot with the Phantom 5 without fear that their customers would run away. So I think the Phantom 5, I think we're going to see something radically different. Now, is it going to be radically different in a good way? I hope so. I hope we're not entering that semi-experimental phase like we did with the Mavic Pro. Mavic Pro is great, but Mavic Pro 2 ought to be rock solid. DJI Spark, interesting, not great. But it'll be interesting to see what they come out with next. And I think with the Phantom, that being such a mature platform, that they can borrow what's worked well from these other drones, these smaller, more lightweight drones, and make their Phantom line better. Make it lighter weight, make it more portable, possibly make it foldable, add a very high-end camera, modular camera. There's a lot of things that that could be done. Gary says, I don't want to buy a smartphone for viewing. I like it to come with its own screen. Well, and that's the thing with, if you went with the Phantom 4, you're going to be bringing your own device, unfortunately. So, you'd be looking for, you'd be looking at a Phantom 4 Pro or Phantom 4 Advanced. But honestly, man, I would wait. I would wait until we see what the Phantom 5 is going to bring to the table. Not saying that the Phantom 4 Pro and the Phantom 4 Advanced are not good drones, but I just feel we're on the cusp of a new drone release, so it may not be an optimal time to buy unless you really have to have one now. Simon says, United Kingdom government just announced that there will be a compulsory drone registration in the near future And part of this will be some kind of awareness course. Awareness, that sounds interesting. It sounds like a nuisance. That's the bad part. I mean, all these less than responsible drone users, they're getting these tightened regulations put into effect, and it's making this hobby more challenging to enjoy. And it's like, ooh, you're a drone pilot? Ooh, you're scary. People just don't get it. Why would you want to take something out in a safe and responsible location and have fun with it? I mean, people just don't get it. It's I guess the best way to explain the hobby to someone that's completely clueless is be like, well, do you like taking a camera out and snapping photos and or videos? And they say yes. Be like, well, the drone is pretty much the same thing, except it's more fun. That camera's not in your hands. You're controlling it with your hands using a controller, but it's able to capture a very cool perspective. Yeah, Gary, I think that's the best bet, man. I mean, it's easy to say the drones that are out now are good, but there's few things more disappointing than taking the plunge and getting something, and then a few weeks later something potentially a lot better releases. And whatever releases next may not be better. But if it's not, hopefully that'll lead to a price drop of the previous technologies. Because I mean, anything from Phantom 3 Pro through present, I think is really rock solid. I mean, I still love the Phantom 3 Pro. I mean, obviously now with the accessories and all of that not being widely available, as widely available as they were in the past, I think Phantom 4 is where I would go today, but I wouldn't want to go a version back. But yeah, we got a bunch of good stuff coming, and I couldn't be more excited about August. And I mean, that's literally, let's see, today's July 23rd, 2017. So we've got not this week, but not this Tuesday, but next Tuesday, the following Tuesday is August the 1st. So I'm hoping that DJI gets takes action and gets some sort of launch event going, so we can all get excited about that. Obviously, as soon as they do, I'll post it on IrixGuy.com in my blog, and that's something I've been doing a lot of work with, is trying to better consolidate all the content, because there were too many websites in the past. There was 400orbelow.com, IrixGuy.com, EpicDroneShow.com. So now all of those, if you just go to IrixGuy.com, you can find it all there in one location. So, I've kept all the articles from 400orbelow.com. You can find all of those on the blog. But, going forward, I'm just I'm streamlining it so you can just say, okay, I want to see IrixGuy's, where to buy the drone accessories or where to read the blog post. I just go to IrixGuy.com and I can find it all there. So that's been a big project I've been working on, and hopefully the server's a lot faster. It was really slow when I was using a shared host in the past, but I actually built this server. It uses Ubuntu, and built a virtual server on Amazon Web Services, and it's been rock solid. I mean, obviously I've got to administer the entire thing and set everything up myself from the command line, but I'm a pretty nerdy dude, so I've got that skill set. So that's been exciting to be able to have a website that receives so much traffic that doesn't go to its knees when it's a peak time of the day or night. So, that being said, we've got there's just so much, and it's just a weird time of year. I mean, we're right now to where we ought to start seeing some cool stuff. If Phantom 4 is really good, why would some people, let's say, buy an Inspire or higher price model from DJI? That's a great question, and I ran into some dude that had an Inspire 2, and I'm like, man, that's freaking awesome. And he's like, yeah, dude. He's like, I can change interchangeable lenses, this, that, and the other. And I'm like, that's awesome. I mean, it really is. But looking at it from a let's just say this is my opinion. Okay, my personal opinion is that, number one, and granted, all drones are expensive, but for a moderate price, I can get something that's rock solid. I mean, the intro and outro clip on this video, on this live show, I filmed with the Phantom 4, and I thought it looked great. Now, sure, anytime you can step up to something and get interchangeable lenses, you can really make your photography and your videography a lot more high-end. But how high-end does one need to make a drone video? So, you know, I can understand on the ground. I mean, on the ground, I'm going to be using Sony Alpha camera. I mean, there's nothing else I would want to use. I love Sony Alpha. But when I'm flying a drone, I think, you know, a Phantom is fine. Now, the Mavic Pro version 1 was just a little bit not good enough for me. So it was, you know, a little bit too low end, and that's why I'm looking forward to Mavic Pro 2. But for the Inspire, it's an interesting case, and like Simon just said, he said some of the police forces in the United Kingdom have drone units now, and they use the Inspire. So, you know, there's a good example. You know, somebody that's got a government budget, you know, they're wanting to use the Inspire for the enhanced capabilities. I mean, the thing's a beast. But the thing is, if you're just wanting to capture an aerial photo and/or aerial video, it's hard for me to tell someone, say, hey, you know, you need to get the Inspire. I mean, I don't know. I mean, yeah, if you absolutely got to have interchangeable lenses. But the thing is, even if the budget was not a concern, you know, how much does this thing cost? Even if it didn't matter to the person buying it, I still think it would be a tough sell. If somebody came to me and said, okay, you know, you can get, you know, money's not an issue or whatever, do you want an Inspire DJI Phantom? Well, I'm going to look at the two, and I'm going to say, okay, that is too big and that's too heavy when I look at the Inspire. And then I'm going to look at the Phantom, I'm going to say, well, that's a manageable travel size and weight. It's not ideal. That's why I want to see the Mavic Pro 2, because I think the Mavic Pro 2 and possibly the Phantom 5 may provide us with a new tool. You know, something with a higher end camera that you know, isn't too big and too heavy to travel with. And I think if you look at cameras, for example, look at the Sony RX100 series. You know, that camera is a prime example of something very small but very capable. Now imagine if they could get the guts to something like that and work into a drone. It's very portable and very lightweight. So, you know, the Inspire for me is a tough case. And like I said, I met some dude, he's like, man, he's got the Inspire too. I'm like, that's cool. I mean, it is cool. But think about it. If you're flying that and every time you take off, you know, not only are you putting a drone in jeopardy, but it's a very expensive drone. And then if it crashes, not only are you losing the drone, but you're potentially losing the camera and/or lens. So, you know, there's a heightened amount of risk. I mean, obviously, someone will be flying in a safe and responsible location, but there's always a possibility that an aircraft can crash. And if it does, that's a huge financial loss. Colin says, Colin and Luciana say big hi from Liverpool. Welcome from Liverpool. That's really cool. Now, Chris says, out of all DJI drones, the Phantom turns and yaws constant and smooth, even in wind, whereas Mavic or Inspire drifts and hard to keep on the intended path. And I've seen that with the Mavic Pro. Mavic Pro did a good job, but it just wasn't as good as the Phantom. I agree. Now, Chris says, so it makes sense the Phantom shape and style, maybe tad better motors and better camera with raising landing gear. Phantom 5 Super. Hey, I like that idea. I really do like that idea. Simon says a key difference is that the Inspire allows for a pilot and a second person operating the camera at the same time. That's definitely a feature that they need to include on the next Phantom model, because that would be something that would be useful. Gary says, I just absolutely hate any kind of drifting in a scene. I was thinking the weight of an Inspire might give better stabilization. I think the Mavic series may be too lightweight. Well, I can comment in regards to Phantom 4 and Mavic Pro. And I can tell you that my Phantom 4 footage, and you know, check out my hundreds of videos that I filmed with it on my YouTube channel, but I got consistently reliable and, you know, horizontal with the horizon. Everything was was perfectly level. And that was a problem with the previous version, Phantom 3 Pro. Had to do repeat IMU recalibrations because, you know, the tilted horizon issue. I did not get that with the Phantom 4. So it was a consistently reliable experience for me. But yeah, if you tried a Mavic Pro, you would definitely notice that the smoothness of that video is likely not as good as the Phantom 4. So, you know, for that reason, I couldn't, if video is your reason for wanting a drone, I could definitely not recommend, I would definitely not recommend the Mavic Pro. I would definitely say, you know, get a Phantom 4 or newer. And that's just based upon my personal experience with it. So, Bob Biker 46 says, Phantom needs to keep the props out of the vid at higher speed. That would be a good upgrade. I agree. You know, and that's, as Phantom pilots, you know, we've grown to learn how to fly and angle that camera in a way to where we can avoid the landing gear and or the props, but that's still an inconvenience. So it would be great, you know, like let's see, who mentioned it earlier here in the comments, talking about retractable landing gear. Oh yeah, Chris did. You know, it'd be great if the Phantom 5 had retractable landing gear, or even if it didn't have retractable landing gear, have a solution for 100% preventing that the landing gear and or props from ever entering the camera's field of view. Now, you know, obviously you can fly in reverse and in essence completely eliminate it, but that's flying in reverse is not always optimal. Simon says, does everyone here use auto camera settings, or do you alter the shutter speed and ISO manually? On a drone, I always use auto. Obviously, on a land-based camera, on the Sony Alphas, I'm going into I'm filming in completely manual mode, both for video and stills. There are some exceptions where I'll use auto mode if I'm taking some stills that I don't really want to think about. I just want to snap, you know, like basically like use the Sony Alpha as a point and shoot type thing. You know, in that scenario, I may use auto, but 80% of the time I'm using manual mode. What do y'all use for drone? Do you use do you like the auto or the manual settings? I'll tell you what I hate, and that's that tap to focus, and that's something Mavic Pro brought to the table, and I hate it. And I'm hoping that with the new Phantom 5 and Mavic Pro 2 that they eliminate tap to focus, because it's the most annoying thing. You know, if you forget to tap, then you're filming, you have potentially what would otherwise be an excellent aerial video, and then you land, you find out that you forgot to hit tap to focus, and it's all garbage because it doesn't look good enough. I mean, that's just yeah. I mean, it's annoying. Tap to focus is super annoying, and I hope that somebody from DJI is watching this, because I hate tap to focus, and you need to take that out, and you need to tell me it's gone, and I'll be happy. So let's see. Gary says, yes, I'm 100% aerial video, smooth. I am not interested in drones for racing and stuff. I want that 100% cinematic look. Hey, I'm right there with you, man, and that's why I like drones. I mean, I know I've flown some drones in sport mode just as, hey, this is how it performs. But I'm like you. When I look at a drone, I look at a drone as a tripod in the sky. You know, and I can create whatever I want to create for this YouTube channel, and it can look really good because it's a gimbal stabilized tripod in the sky. And I'm right there with you, man. I'm right there with you. Chris says, manual whenever possible to keep full control over shutter speed and ISO. Very cool. So we've got, yeah. I mean, let's just hope that DJI executes well, and I don't think they would. Let's just hope they don't start to experiment so much that we don't have a rock solid drone to use. You know, let's hope that they release something that's, and a lot of people are irritated by all these firmware updates, and that's, you know, I don't know. I don't know what y'all's thoughts are on that. I've seen a lot of comments throughout social media about the people being disgruntled with the DJI firmware update process. So if y'all had any issues with that, I know, you know, in the past it was more of a manual process, and you would use your desktop computer or laptop computer, and now it's completely changed. But yeah, Yeah, so I mean, you know, it's this year, this starting here in a few weeks, come August, you know, I'm going to be all ears and just hearing, you know, what's just had an alert come through here. Let's see, hearing what's coming soon, because it's got to be a good holiday season. I mean, it's really got to be. So, yeah, we're about a half hour in. I'm gonna go ahead and conclude this live show. I want to start hosting a lot more live shows now that we're entering the exciting season, and there's a lot of new, I mean, hopefully a ton of new stuff coming. So, you know, that's what this channel is all about. And appreciate y'all's viewership. If you haven't subscribed, be sure to do so. Also like to encourage everyone to check out my website, epicdroneshow.com. You can find drones, drone accessories, and a whole lot more there, because, you know, that's my website. And if you can go there and, you know, check the links on my website, it helps me a lot. IV Gamers 89. Hi, IrixGuy. Big salute from California. How soon DJI Mavic Pro 2 coming? Ernesto and Letty say hi. Hey, Ernesto and Letty. And my gut tells me it's probably going to be August. And I think we'll probably see a Mavic Pro 2 and possibly a Phantom 5 in August. Because again, when you think about shipping, you know, DJI's got to get it to their distribution centers. And then from their distribution centers, they've got to get it to the resellers, the various dealers. So, you know, there's a couple hops there. And then those resellers have to get it potentially in their retail storefronts. So there are, you know, there's a lot of links in this chain. So, you know, looking at August, it's like, well, God, August is so far before Christmas. It's really not. You know, when you put logistics into play, it's really not that far out. So for that reason, I think that, you know, at the latest, that we would see a new drone or two new drones, hopefully Mavic Pro 2 and DJI Phantom 5. Hopefully we'll see both of those in what am I trying to say? In August. Let's see. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up. Thanks everyone for tuning in live. Again, I want to make this a much more frequent event. So, you know, you can help out if you share this show and my website, IrixGuy.com. Share with others. You know, really help to raise awareness, and that'll get an even larger real-time turnout. These shows are not scheduled. You know, I've decided that instead of having a regularly scheduled show time, I think it's sometimes best just to hop on when I'm in the mood for a live show. And again, you can watch all the previously recorded shows. You just go to IrixGuy.com. You can find them all there. But, you know, and I may try to get something. May try to get some, you know, maybe a once a week scheduled time slot for a show. You know, if y'all think that would be. If y'all think that would be good. Now, I don't want that to hinder being able to host more live shows, but maybe at least once a week have one scheduled time slot, and then maybe a backup time slot in case something comes up and I can't make that time slot. At least that way there's some reasonable expectation for when the live show will should occur. But Bob Biger 46, thanks from Northern Michigan. Keep up the good work. Thanks, man. Chris, thanks. Greets from Warrington, United Kingdom. So yeah, it's good stuff, and I will see y'all soon. Again, be sure to subscribe, youtube.com/IrixGuy. Follow me throughout social media, Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. What did I miss? I think that's everything. But you can find all social media links on IrixGuy.com. Thanks for watching, and y'all have a good day. Hey y'all, IrixGuy here. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to subscribe, like, and share. It's viewers like you that enable my channel to continue to grow. Thank you.